You want to get top dollar for your business? This is how it happens. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the strategies that we use in our process to generate multiple offers and create a competitive bidding process for your transaction. Buyer competition is very important in a sell-side process, and that's something that is important to the Cetane process and what we do when we help our sellers. Creating a competitive process is important because buyers typically do not want to lose out on a deal that they're serious about. And so obviously more competition creates that sense of urgency on the buyer's behalf, particularly if the seller is seen as attractive from a strategic standpoint. So they're going to want to keep that in their pipeline to increase their performance or keep a competitor out. This competitive tension and this sense of urgency typically allows our sellers to really push for what is important to them. So said another way, puts them in a nice leverage position. So how do we position you best to attract multiple buyers and create a competitive bidding process? To me, this comes down to two things. Firstly is the seller's performance, what they can control. A lot of times we call that getting your house in order. So you'd want to demonstrate strong financial performance, not just from a stable perspective of showing consistent earnings and revenue, but also some growth, being able to explain that in a very clear way from a bookkeeping and a data standpoint. And then obviously you'd want to make sure that you're at your peer level or outperforming your peer level from those benchmarking metrics, things like recurring revenue, customer density, and asset profiles. All of those things that you can do to get your house in order will allow you to position yourself the best in the marketplace. Now where Cetane comes in is we take that performance that you've built and you've worked so hard to build, and we package it in our confidential information memorandum, which allows us to tell the story of your success in a very clear, concise, and communicative way to the buyers in the language that they speak and what they see as most important. Outside of doing that confidential information memorandum, the way that we market the process allows us to protect your identity and reach a wide array of buyers that would be best for your business. The way we would run our process to create a bidding war and to increase competition is we market the process broadly and confidentially. So not just to folks in your neighborhood, your most direct competitors, we would go to those folks, direct competition, those in your area, both of your size and of larger size. We would go to more regional players in your industry, so a larger swath of competitors on the strategic side. And then of course we would make sure that we're marketing to a larger group of financial buyers as well. So those would be private equity backed entities, the private equity firms themselves maybe potentially looking to get a platform. And then of course, other financial investors such as family offices and independent sponsors. And we do all of that in a very strict confidential way to protect your identity and protect your reputation in the process. In order to create a competitive bidding process, what Cetane does, part of our value add, is we orchestrate that process for you. We basically take that responsibility out of your hands and we put it on ourselves to manage all of the buyer communication and create those competitive dynamics while preserving your confidentiality. So Cetane knows, by understanding your needs and what your objectives are in a transaction, we communicate that strategically to buyers on your behalf. And that may look different on a buyer-to-buyer basis, but we handle that on your behalf so we can come back to you with the results. And all of this allows you to walk away with the best possible deal.